Welcome, everyone. This is the Chat Footy podcast. I am Chris Phelps again on my own. Well, today, just wanted to keep everyone up to date with what's going on in our world, mine, Dave's and Ben's. So we've had Christmas, New Year, Happy New Year to everyone. Let's hope 2019. Make sure Liverpool don't win the league. That's what I want for 2019. But we'll see. A couple of games over the last few weeks. The big one was City v Liverpool. Now, I had actually said, as you can tell, I'm running solo, by the way. I'd actually said I thought Liverpool would soak up a bit of pressure off City. And with pretty much the first breakaway, they'd score. And I thought it'd be an uphill battle for City from there on in, which was pretty much how the Champions League went last season for City. At the Council House, but I was wrong. I mean, you know, probably it's the biggest game of the season for everyone. And after Liverpool sort of taking over Christmas and City losing a few games, I think they lost 3 and 4 at one point, and Liverpool capitalised on it. And you know, they are playing fair football. They are playing good football, which is actually making sick come up in my mouth, unfortunately. But at the moment, they have been the most consistent team and they're playing the best football. I can't deny that, even though I want to. And I think it's one of them. I said this as an analogy, but watching City v Liverpool, knowing that City had to win, and I'd said this to Dave privately, so please forgive me, but it's like choosing between two blokes. He's going to spend the night with your missus. It wasn't the best. And I've said that politely. I didn't actually say it that way to them, but you can understand how I would have said it. And I just thought it was a great game. I thought it was compelling. It showed who the two best teams are in the Premiership without a doubt at the moment. I thought it was fast. Some people saying, oh, it was, you know, there was a lot of mistakes. I don't think there was. I thought Fernandinho for City was fantastic. I thought Liverpool hung on in there. That goal that never was with Stones was cutting it fine, to say the least. And what was even better was the fallout that seeing all the Liverpool fans on Twitter creating protests, doing the video and the pictures from different angles to say it was over the line. It doesn't matter, does it? When the ball went across at its furthest point, it was 11 centimetres, 11 millimetres, sorry, not centimetres, 11 millimetres from going in. I mean, that's margins to say the best, you know, with the best of them. But yeah, so, you know, he went to 1-0 to City. Aguero with an absolute world-class finish. He's still the best striker in the Premier League for me. Always will be. I think I wanted him when he was at Atletico. I mentioned it before on the podcast. He's a great forward. Him and Torres at the time were fantastic. 2 young strikers, brilliant. And he stayed that, and he's been one of City's best players ever, I think, to be honest, hand on heart. And he did the business. And then obviously Liverpool equalised. Firmino in the second half. It seemed to come from nowhere, but that guy, Andy Robertson, again, who had mentioned with Dave, had a storming cross go over, and Firmino buried it with a header. So, yeah, good work for them. And then from nowhere, City absorbed all the pressure, took it up the other end and buried it, Sane. So I was happy, but I can't say that at any point I was cheering or fist pumping. I was just happy that he's took it down to 4 points, because I genuinely think if Liverpool had won, it might mathematically not be over, but it's a hell of a turnaround, and it would have been a hell of a collapse for Liverpool. So let's just hope, from my point of view, it is a collapse. But again, that also means City win it. So I think I'd rather have City win it than Liverpool. So we'll see how that goes in the next few weeks. And this weekend, we've got the FA Cup. So that just passed. So we've got like a full set of fixtures this weekend. United against Tottenham. So we'll see. From a United's point of view and my point of view, who do we have in the league? Oh, we went away to Newcastle, which was... It was a tough game in the respect of we had a lot of possession, didn't do a lot with it, but Newcastle seemed to have in the first half the better chances. And then we were always in control, but it just seemed to be that they would catch us on the break. And I think if that Atsu had actually got his shooting boots on and kept his head a few times, I actually think that Newcastle could have got in 1-up, to be fair, because they seemed to have the clear openings. And then obviously, second half, we composed ourselves and, you know, we got the win, basically. And then that dirty get Shelby, Lord Voldemort, as he's known in some circles, came right down the back of Pogba. And he's done that before with United. I think he still wears his Liverpool hat. It was a dirty challenge. He should have been sent off. There's no doubt about it. Retro
refereeing hasn't helped. He got away with it. But at the end of the day, we won 2-0, and I was happy with that for us. I thought, because St James's Park has been a bit of a sticky wicket for us. Some games we've gone there and absolutely trounced them, and then other games they've pulled the result out of the bag and done the business. So I never forget 2012 when City won the league, and we had a run of about 7 games at the end where we were clear of City by about 4 or 5 points, and we went to Newcastle away, and we were odds on. Newcastle were absolutely out of form, and they beat us 3-0. I think it was a 3-1. It just come from nowhere. I remember because I was playing football at the local soccer dome, and had my phone on like alerts, and every time I went behind the net or a wetted net to have a look, we were a goal behind. So I'll never forget that. And that was one of the catalysts which people forget of the Aguero goal. You know, Everton did us. I was at Old Trafford for that. Everton did us from 4-2 down to 4-all with the human tree, Fellaini. And then it was actually Newcastle away that did us in proper. And I think Wigan as well beat us. So anyway, it's one of the things. But yeah, it's always a sticky wicket, St James's Park. So that's pretty good. But our next game will be a test. We've won 5 on the bounce, which is great. But it's also a testament to the fact that we're playing Tottenham. And we all know how Tottenham are playing. We've not got a good record at Wembley at all against Tottenham. We've lost both games. I think last season we started really well for about 20 minutes. We should have been 2 or 3 up. I think Lingard and Martial should have scored, and then Tottenham just took us out of the game. So I'm just hoping that we turn up, we give them a game. I think they're there to be taken, and I think it'll help us a lot. But this is the acid test for Solskjaer, whether his tactics, his belief system in the team will come out. And I want to see us have a go at Tottenham. I think under Mourinho and Van Gaal, we've not given them a go, and they've had their renaissance, and it's obviously the best Spurs side for years. There's been times there where we could have had him. Yeah, we beat him in the semi-final in the Cup and that, and last season and all this, but there's times there where we could have had him and beat him, and we just didn't have any belief, and Tottenham just railroaded us. Eriksen's had a stormer, so we'll see on that. And I said it was going to be a brief one to myself today. I think it pretty much is. I can't see anything else to talk about. We've got a few games coming up. Let me just check the fixtures. Yeah, so we've got a few games coming up. United have got Spurs R4 Sunday. Then we've got the following Saturday is a 3 o'clock kickoff, which makes a change. That's against Brighton. Then we've got Burnley at home on Tuesday the 29th. Then Feb 3rd is Leicester away, Fulham away on the 9th of Feb. 12th of Feb is Paris Saint-Germain at home. Then it's Liverpool on the 24th of Feb. The 27th is Palace away. So we've got a good run of games. And then you've got like Southampton at home, Paris Saint-Germain away, Arsenal at home, City at home. So this is going into the middle of March. So there's some fixtures there. The Arsenal City ones are going to be the big ones, I think. But I do want a positive result against Spurs. I think if anything, to get a bit of belief and a turn in a corner. We've been there with 5 results. Not easy results, but we've got them. Under Mourinho, I'm sure we would have drew a couple of them or it would have been close. But everything's going in the right direction. I just don't think just yet we should start getting the bunting out. So I'm fully supportive of Solskjaer. I was there on Saturday in the FA Cup against Reading again. So it's great. The atmosphere is great. But seeing that bit of belief in the team, I don't think it was a great performance. I think it's probably Solskjaer's worst performance as manager, but it's still a lot better than what we saw in Mourinho. So I think Reading played quite well, to be fair, in parts. There's some good passing and control and composure, which is quite unusual for a championship team against Premiership, but they had a bit of belief and it was a good game. So we'll see about that. So I'll throw a few plugs in. We've got Dave and Ben's Grassroots Coachcast. Get over there, give them a follow on Twitter and on iTunes or any other podcast hosting site. That's a Grassroots Coachcast. If you're interested in youth soccer, managing teams, controlling them, controlling parents more than anything, Ben will definitely vouch for that one. Then we've got mine and Dave's podcast again. This is Comics in Motion, which we review various comic book-based TV, films, media projects or, films or Ryan and Dave's podcast, which is the Comics in Motion podcast, where we review TV and films based on comic books. This week we review Aquaman. We watched it just before Christmas, so we got around to doing our first one of the new year. Polarizing scores between me and Dave. I won't tell you who did what, but yeah, it's been a juggernaut, that film. So get over there, and that's at Comics in Motion on iTunes and Comics in Motion P on Twitter if you want to give us a follow. And then there is my vlogs, which are doing really well from when I went to Vegas. I've got a 7-part series for every day. CPod 78 vlogs on YouTube. Please give me a follow and like I said, the Comics in Motion podcast, if you follow that as well as this. If you're sick of hearing my voice, well, you can get sick of seeing my face. So get over there and give me a follow. Thanks a lot, guys. And this has been the Chat Footy podcast. Take care. See you later. And hopefully Ben and Dave will be back with a bit of Liverpool talk for all you Scousers out there, because I won't be talking any more than that. Goodbye.